Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to challenge you with a question that may shake your very foundation. Why do only 2% of people succeed while the remaining 98% struggle through life, never reaching their full potential? Is it luck? Is it education? Is it the right connections? No. It all comes down to a few simple but powerful principles that separate the successful from the unsuccessful. Many of us dream of greatness, but only a small percentage ever achieve it. Why? Because success is not a matter of chance, it is a matter of choice. It is the product of discipline, mindset, and purpose. Today I will show you the key differences between the 2% and the 98%. The power of vision. One of the greatest tragedies in life is not death, but a life without direction. Every person is born with a potential for greatness, yet only a small percentage ever reach it. The difference? Vision. The 2% succeed because they see beyond their present circumstances. They have a clear picture of where they are going, while the 98% wander through life without a sense of purpose. A person without vision is like a ship without a compass, drifting aimlessly at the mercy of the winds and waves. Without direction, life becomes a cycle of survival rather than a journey of fulfillment. Many people wake up each morning, go to work, come home, watch television, and repeat the process for years, never stopping to ask, where am I going? They react to life instead of shaping it. Vision is more than a dream or wishful thinking. It is a clear, compelling picture of the future that ignites passion and drives action. The 2% take the time to define what they want out of life. They write down their goals, visualize their future, and take intentional steps toward it. The 98% live by default, accepting whatever life hands them. Imagine two individuals standing at the starting line of a marathon. One has trained for months, knows the course, and has a clear strategy to finish strong. The other simply shows up, hoping to reach the finish line without preparation or direction. Who is more likely to succeed? The answer is obvious. Success is intentional, not accidental. History is filled with individuals who changed the world because they had a clear vision. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just hope for a better world, he saw it before it existed. Steve Jobs didn't just want to build computers. He envisioned technology that would revolutionize lives. Visionaries shape the future because they refuse to live by chance. People often say, I don't know what I want in life, but the truth is, deep down, they do. Fear, doubt, and societal expectations have buried their vision under years of conformity. The 2% take time to rediscover their purpose. They ask, what problem was I born to solve? What impact do I want to make? What legacy do I want to leave? These questions separate those who succeed from those who settle. Without vision, talent is wasted, potential remains untapped, resources are misused, but when a person embraces their vision, they become unstoppable. Challenges don't discourage them, they fuel them. Setbacks don't define them, they refine them. Mindset. The greatest difference, success and failure are not determined by circumstances, but by mindset. The most powerful force in your life is not your background, education, or connections. It is the way you think. The 2% succeed because they have trained their minds for greatness. The 98% remain stuck because they allow limiting beliefs to control their lives. Everything begins in the mind. A person who believes they are destined to struggle will never rise above their own expectations. A person who believes they are capable of more will find a way to achieve it. The mind is like soil. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, you will reap a life of mediocrity. If you plant seeds of confidence, faith, and perseverance, you will reap success. The 2% take control of their thoughts. They guard their minds against negativity. They refuse to allow failure to define them. They see setbacks as lessons, not defeats. They focus on possibilities rather than problems. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." This is the defining difference. The 98% believe success is for others, not for them. They say, "I'm not smart enough. I don't have the right connections. I wasn't born into wealth." These thoughts become their reality. Look at athletes who achieve greatness. Their training goes beyond physical ability. It is mental toughness that separates champions from competitors. When everyone else is exhausted, they push through because their minds refuse to accept defeat. The same applies to life. The 2% succeed because they refuse to accept limits. Many people are trapped by the opinions of others. They fear criticism, rejection, or failure, so they never try. But the 2% understand that opinions don't shape destiny, decisions do. They don't wait for permission to pursue greatness. They don't seek validation from the crowd. They build unshakable belief in themselves. Mindset is not about ignoring reality. It is about refusing to be controlled by it. Life will bring challenges, disappointments, and struggles. The difference is that the 2% use those struggles as fuel to grow. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of saying, "I can't do this," they declare. The 2% turn pain into power, setbacks into comebacks, and challenges into opportunities. If you want to change your life, start by changing your mind. The moment you decide to think differently, everything else begins to shift. Success is never about what you want. It is about what you are willing to do. The 2% understand that discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. See, the 98% struggle because they let emotions dictate their actions. They do what feels good at the moment instead of what is necessary for the future. Discipline is waking up early when your body wants to sleep. It is reading when you'd rather scroll through social media. It is working on your goals even when motivation fades. The 98% start with excitement but quit when things get uncomfortable. The 2% push through discomfort because they understand that nothing worthwhile comes easy. A student who studies only when they feel like it will never outperform the one who studies consistently. An athlete who trains only when it's convenient will never defeat the one who trains every single day, rain or shine. Success is not about intelligence, talent, or luck. It is about consistency. Many people wish for success, but few are willing to pay the price. They want financial freedom, but won't control their spending. They want a strong body, but won't commit to exercise. They want success in business, but won't sacrifice entertainment to build their dream. The 2% do what others won't, and that is why they achieve what others never will. Think about a farmer. When planting season comes, he wakes up early, works the land, and sows seeds. He does not see immediate results. He does not expect to wake up the next day and find a field full of crops. He understands that growth takes time, and he must keep watering and caring for his plants. The 98% expect overnight success. When they don't see quick results, they quit. The 2% understand that greatness is built in the small, unseen efforts repeated daily. Many people say they lack motivation, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. The 2% do not rely on motivation, they rely on commitment. They know that discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. The world does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards those who are willing to do the work. The question is, are you willing to be disciplined for what you say you want? The courage to take risks, fear, has kept more people in mediocrity than failure ever has. The 98% live in fear, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of loss. They stay in their comfort zones, clinging to security while their dreams slip away. The 2% succeed because they understand that nothing great is achieved without risk. A person who never takes risks will always be controlled by those who do. They will work for those who dare to start businesses. They will follow leaders who were bold enough to make decisions. They will consume inventions created by those who were not afraid to fail. Playing it safe does not lead to success. It leads to regret. Fear is an illusion. Most of the things people worry about never happen. The fear of failure is worse than failure itself. Every great success story is built on failure. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before creating the light bulb. Walt Disney was fired for lack of creativity. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. The difference between them and the 98% is that they refused to let fear define their future. Children are the best example of fearless living. A child learning to walk falls countless times but never stops trying. They don't think about failure. They only see possibility. But as people grow older, they become conditioned to avoid risks. Society teaches them to play it safe, to follow the traditional path, to avoid anything uncertain. This mindset kills dreams before they even begin. Successful people take risks not because they are fearless, but because they understand that the cost of not trying is far greater than the cost of failure. They would rather fail forward than stay stagnant. The 98% wait for the perfect time, but the 2% know that the perfect time does not exist. Risk does not mean recklessness. The 2% take calculated risks. They prepare, they plan, and then they take bold action. They know that waiting too long can be just as dangerous as moving too fast. Fear and growth cannot exist in the same space. The moment a person chooses to step outside their comfort zone, they begin to grow. Every risk taken builds confidence. The 2% are not smarter, luckier, or more talented. They are simply braver. Most people live their entire lives wondering, what if? But the 2% will always know because they dared to find out. Do you surround yourself with matters? No one succeeds alone. The people you spend the most time with will either push you toward greatness or pull you into mediocrity. The 2% understand that their environment shapes their future, while the 98% fail to realize that the wrong associations can silently destroy their potential. Imagine placing a healthy fish in a polluted tank. No matter how strong the fish is, the toxic water will eventually affect its health. The same applies to life. A person may have big dreams, but if they surround themselves with negative, small-minded individuals, those dreams will slowly suffocate. The 98% often stay in unhealthy environments because they fear change. They surround themselves with complainers, doubters, and people who accept mediocrity. They listen to those who say, be realistic. That's too risky. People like us don't succeed. Over time, these voices become their reality. They adopt the same limiting beliefs, and their ambition fades. The 2% are intentional about their associations. They seek out people who challenge them, inspire them, and force them to grow. They understand that if they are always the smartest person in the room, they are in the wrong room. They surround themselves with visionaries, leaders, and achievers because they know success is contagious. Look at the most successful people in any field. They have mentors, coaches, and networks of high achievers. They invest in relationships that elevate their thinking. A young entrepreneur who spends time with successful business owners will gain wisdom that cannot be found in books. An athlete who trains with champions will push beyond their limits. Growth happens in the right environment. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." If a person spends time with 5 complainers, they will become the 6th. If they spend time with 5 ambitious people, they will become the 6th. Associations are not just friendships. They are a preview of a person's future. Many people hold on to toxic relationships out of loyalty. They fear outgrowing friends or disappointing family. But the reality is, staying connected to the wrong people is one of the biggest reasons the 98% never reach their full potential. The 2% understand that their destiny is more important than temporary comfort. They are willing to distance themselves from those who do not align with their vision. If success is the goal, the right relationships are non-negotiable. It is better to walk alone for a season than to be held back for a lifetime. The habit of taking action. Dreams don't work unless you do. The 2% succeed not because they have perfect plans, but because they take action. The 98% remain stuck because they overthink, procrastinate, and wait for the right time. That never comes. Many people have brilliant ideas, but ideas without action are worthless. The world is filled with people who could have written books, could have started businesses, could have changed their lives, but didn't. Fear, doubt, and hesitation kept them from moving forward. The 2% refuse to live with what ifs. They take the first step, even when they don't have everything figured out. The 98% often wait for motivation, but motivation is unreliable. The 2% understand that action creates momentum. A person who waits to feel ready will never begin. A writer who waits for inspiration will never finish a book. A person who waits for the perfect conditions will never start a business. Success belongs to those who move, even when they feel uncertain. A child learning to walk never questions if they will succeed. They stumble, fall, get back up, and keep going. But as people grow older, they develop fear. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of rejection. This fear keeps them stuck. The 2% understand that taking action is the only way to overcome fear. The longer a person waits, the harder it becomes to start. There is a simple truth. Every successful person started before they felt ready. The best athletes were once beginners. The greatest leaders once had no followers. The most successful entrepreneurs once had no money. But they took action, and every step they took built confidence. Overthinking is one of the biggest killers of success. Many people analyze, research, and plan for years, but never execute. They tell themselves, I'll start next year. I need more knowledge. I need more time, but time keeps passing and nothing changes. The 2% act first and learn along the way. They trust that mistakes are part of growth, and they adjust as they go. Small, consistent actions lead to massive results. A person who exercises for 30 minutes a day will transform their body over time. A person who writes 500 words a day will complete a book in months. The 2% break big goals into small, manageable steps and take action daily. The difference between success and failure is simple. The 2% do what the 98% only talk about. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of success. The 2% understand that every setback is a setup for growth, while the 98% let failure define them. When things go wrong, most people give up, assuming that difficulty is a sign they are not meant to succeed. But the truth is, failure is the greatest teacher, the refining fire that separates the determined from the defeated. Every successful person has faced failure, but what sets them apart is how they respond to it. When Thomas Edison was developing the light bulb, he failed thousands of times. When asked how he felt about it, he said, I have not failed, I've just found 1,0,0,0,0 ways that won't work. That mindset is what made him a world changer. The 2% see failure as feedback, a learning opportunity, a necessary step toward mastery. The 98% fear failure so much that they never take risks. They hesitate, overthink, and avoid challenges because they do not want to fail. But in doing so, they fail by default. The 2% know that failure is not permanent unless they quit. Every time they fall, they rise stronger, more experienced, and more prepared. Think about a baby learning to walk. They fall repeatedly, but never once do they decide, maybe walking isn't for me. They instinctively understand that falling is part of the process. Yet, as people grow older, they start seeing failure as a personal flaw rather than a necessary step towards success. Many people stop chasing their dreams after one failure. They start a business, face setbacks, and assume they're not meant to be entrepreneurs. They write one book, it doesn't sell well, and they quit writing. But the 2% know that failure is a numbers game. The more they try, the more they learn, the better they become. And the better they become, the greater their chances of success. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. If they had accepted failure as the final word, the world would never have known their greatness. Rejection, loss, and setbacks are not meant to stop a person. They are meant to build resilience. The 2% expect failure, but they refuse to be broken by it. They adjust, they improve, and they keep going when others quit. The greatest tragedy is not failing, it is never trying. The 98% live in regret, wondering what could have been if they had just kept going. The 2% refuse to let failure be their ending. They embrace it, learn from it, and use it as fuel to move forward. Success is not for those who never fail, it is for those who never stop. Now, you stand at a crossroads. You can choose to remain in the 98%, settling for an average life filled with excuses, regrets, and wasted potential. Or you can make a decision today to rise into the 2%, to take responsibility for your life, to cultivate discipline, to think differently, to take action, and to serve others. Success is not for the lucky. It is for the committed. It is for those who are willing to do what others won't. The question is, which group will you belong to? The choice is yours.